The time is at hand.
From Williamson, West Virginia, the gateway to the crackheads, this is In Dark Places. My name is Junebug Fugit. I'll be the one telling the stories. Well, it looks like the government has unleashed another new virus on us. It's been a while. I don't even know what they're calling this thing. But you can guarantee it was made in the finest labs in the world. Maybe I just have too much hope in humanity or something. I don't know. I didn't think that everyone would be so deceived the first time around. But I was wrong. Why would I think it would be any different this time around? I can already see it at work. People are already freaking out about this thing. So it's just going to be the same thing all over again. I guess this one is scarier because it's not a variant. This one has a big scary name. Anyway, what other big distractions do we have this week? Oh yeah, they're going to release the alien files, supposedly. So in honor of the alien files, I've got Appalachian UFO reports for you. These reports are from March 2026. I'm running a little behind. And these can be found at the National UFO Reporting Center. Thanks, Peter Davenport. This one has pictures. It was at about 9:30 p.m. on March 7th, 2026 in Summerville, Ohio. Driving home from our son's basketball game on March 7th, my family and I witnessed the bright white, hovering saucer-shaped, silent craft hovering over our hill. No stars at night, and so rural there isn't a town, city, tower, or airport for 20 miles all around. My son grabbed 2 pictures, one of the object hovering, and one as the object flew off faster than you can blink. Lived here 20 years and have never seen a helicopter or plane, really, overhead. Maybe 3 times in 20 years, a plane. The next morning, our entire family was woke by 4 Black Hawk and Chinook helicopters flying around our house/hill. We looked immediately at live flight radar. The military helicopters were searching an area in a grid search pattern, with our little town in the middle of the search area. Never had such a thing happen in our rural area like this. So concerned. I would be too. March 7th, 2026 at 11:20 p.m. Morganton, North Carolina. This one has videos. Bright orange orb slightly moving around, but mostly stayed still. Twice it began to split upward, but split. Orb disappeared as the new orb became about half of a circle. Sometimes widened left to right with smaller wing-like parts and became very bright when this happened. Like a very bright, fiery bird would sometimes become very bright while stationary. I would sometimes feel dizzy and nauseous as I watched, especially when it became very bright. I once saw a dim ray of light pan across the sky. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, March 8th, 2026 at 9:40 p.m. Several low-flying helicopters were flying by around the river area, causing me to look outside. At that moment, a green fireball shot across the sky, flying fairly low. It then went out of my view, and 2 helicopters followed it. I don't know. I didn't see it, but green usually means meteor. This one has a picture. It's from Dingman's Ferry, Pennsylvania. I want to move to Dingman's Ferry. This sounds like a cool place. March 9th at 8:17 p.m. I saw about 5 unknown aircraft. They made no noise, yet they were moving. Some of them seemed to interact with one another. There was one in particular that was an especially bright white. The crafts would go in a straight line or zigzag. Some were amber, some blend in with the stars. This one comes from Norwich, New York, March 17th at 4:48 a.m. I took my dog out in the yard and was looking at the stars while he was doing his business. After a few minutes, 2 orbs appeared. They were white and translucent. They sort of looked like how stars look when zoomed in on a camera. Their shape within seemed to change, but they remained circular. They were not very high in the sky. The minute they manifested out of thin air from the west, they began to move together at a high rate of speed, south-southeast, but not in a straight fixed line of motion. It was more like meandering, even a bit erratic. I was able to see them for a little less than a minute before they were out of sight. About a minute after this, as I was still looking up, I saw directly above me a flash of light. That flashed maybe 10 to 20 times, maybe more. The flash of light fluctuated in intensity, from very dim, almost non-visible, to brighter than the stars that made up the Ursa Major constellation, and Arcturus, which were both visible. The flash of light seemed to be very high in the sky. It was mostly stationary, but moved very slightly in different directions numerous times, but always returned to the original spot, where it began flashing. The flash did not occur consistently, like a strobe on an aircraft. My dog started barking, so I looked to see at what and to call him back. When I looked up again, it was gone. This might sound crazy, but during both sightings of the orbs and the flashes of light, I had an overwhelming intuition come over me that both the orbs and the flash of light were aware of me and my awareness of them, and that the flashing light was communicating with me. Knoxville, Tennessee, March 19th, at 10 p.m. Moving in line, front to back, no sound. I grew up near a small airport and saw aircraft flying in and out every day. Served 4 years as a plane captain in the U.S. Marine Corps Aviation, primarily at Marine Corps Air Station, Cherry Point, North Carolina. So was that Starlink maybe? I don't know. I didn't see it. This one has a picture. This is from March 20th, 2026 at Brea, Kentucky. And it happened at 3:35 a.m. What were you doing up at that time of night? Go to bed. Okay. I'm experienced with recognizing FAA lightning in aircraft flight characteristics. This didn't match anything, despite having red and green. A tight cluster of about 7, no noise, hovering slowly over my car in almost a glide, but would stop occasionally. The cluster of lights didn't match any publicly known aircraft. I almost wrecked trying to get a better look and turned around at the bank, and by the time I was back, it was approaching the horizon too far to chase. I never assumed it was alien, but it is unidentified and anomalous. However, I still got the Oz factor a few minutes later after moving on from it. At first it reminded me of another UFO that I encountered in Richmond, but this cluster was much more asymmetrical and tighter formation. Lake Lynn, Pennsylvania, March 21st at 9 p.m. I took my dog outside to potty before bed. A bright ember dot of light, much like a star, caught my eye. It was steady glowing and moving so slowly. I stopped walking to watch it and noticed that it had stopped moving a second, and then it backed up as if it were in reverse. It was traveling east from north, and after it reversed, it went forward again and then paused and sat still, and then went straight up, paused, straight down, paused, reversed, and went forward again a few seconds and just literally turned off. No sound. Spectacular sight. March 21st, 2026 at 9:10 p.m. Beattyville, Kentucky. I was out taking pictures of the moon through my telescope. A white light flew across the sky coming from the southwest. When it got directly over top of us, me, my fiancée, and my friend asked if we thought it was illegal to shine a green laser light at stuff like that, and it immediately lit up, bright as the sun, for about 3 seconds before it dimmed back down. It was like it heard us and was saying hello. I felt the hair on my arm stand up, and had an instant weird feeling in my stomach. We were all shocked, but also amazed. The light flash had been so bright, it left the shape of it even after when I closed my eyes. My fiancée has 4 years in the Marines and 10 years in the Army, and her friend was also in the Marine for 4 years and worked on airplanes. They knew this was not an airplane. It was completely silent and did not have aviation lights like planes do. March 22nd, 2026 at 1:16 p.m. Clanton, Alabama. It looked like sheets of metal that sort of swarmed or flocked, much too high to be birds and too reflective. Upon removing my sunglasses, it disappeared, and putting them back on made it visible again. Hey, it's that movie. My girlfriend was in the car with me and also saw this. March 24th, 2026 at 2:10 a.m. Lawrenceville, Georgia. I witnessed what I thought was a meteor coming to the cloud layers. When it came to the bottom layer of clouds from the southeast, it came to a complete stop at about 500 feet. We're looking up at it at about a 45-degree angle. It was amber colored. It made erratic movement to the left, gained a very little bit of altitude, made an erratic movement back to the right, then came straight at me. It scared me. I ran in my house and grabbed my brother-in-law. He came out and watched it for about 4 minutes. It departed to the southwest in 2 bounds and was out of sight with no sound. It looked big, like an oil drilling platform that was all lit up with amber lights. And that's all the Appalachian UFO reports from March 2026. I'll be back in a few days with April. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate you. God bless.